All right, Ricardo. Ricardo, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Originally, I was born in Montebello at Beverly Hills Hospital, or Beverly Hospital, and I'm originally from San Gabriel Valley, La Puente, specifically.
And tell me about your family growing up.
What I can say about my family, because I don't really know much, all I know is that I have a mother who had an addiction problem her whole life. So she was pregnant with me, and throughout the 9 months that I was in her stomach, she used and abused. There was times I was told that, she tried to kill me, but it just wouldn't happen. My mom, was growing up right here in the area of Skid Row. She liked heroin, methamphetamine, basically anything she can inject in her veins, she would use while I was in her stomach. And then 9 months come around, and it's time to give birth. And I was told that she gave birth to me, and when she gave birth, she was sick, going through withdrawals, so that when she had an opportunity to leave, she yanked everything off of her, didn't sign my birth ticket, and took off. So
Your mom had a baby and split?
Yeah.
In the hospital?
Yeah, well, she had me, and then I had another brother who passed away from AIDS. I've only met him once. And then my dad, I guess, had took it, but he was a big alcoholic. So from my understanding, I was passed over to my father. He signed my birth certificate. He was an alcoholic, and he loved prostitutes. So what he tried to do was, if he didn't have any money, he'd use me as a bartering system, as layaway. And my grandma found out about that because there were times where he always would drop me off with my grandma,
Just to clarify for my viewers, what you're implying is that your dad would use you
to get what he wanted.
To get money.
Yeah.
Sexually.
Yeah.
With men that wanted to have sex?
Yeah. Women, whatever.
Or whatever. Yeah. And then have sex.
Yeah.
On his own with prostitutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was little, and it was things that I don't like thinking about, or like the shit he did,
Yeah, it's a horrible childhood for a young man.
Only way my grandma found out was because I would talk about it, not knowing that it was wrong, or, I would just speak about it, and my grandma would be like, "What are you talking about?" And I'd explain to her, She kept me. And I really had no guidance, but because of the things that I went through and stuff like that, it was hard for my grandma to tell me no, because she loved me. So I ended up with my grandma, and he disappeared. Never heard from him, nothing. And randomly one day, someone's banging on the door, and it's him, and he's drunk. And I remember my older cousin telling me, he tells me, he's all, "Get in the room." He's all, "If you come out the room, I'm gonna fuck your ass up." I said, "Why?" I said, "Who's at the door?" And he's all, "Don't worry about it." So my uncle comes, they open the door, I hear arguing and shit like that. And then it was my dad, they whipped his ass in the kitchen and shit like that, He came back because he was drunk, trying to get me, but it didn't work. So they whipped his ass, called the police and stuff like that. And, and then one day I was told that I guess he was walking down the street or something like that, drinking. He got to about the 10 freeway and just died right there on the spot. Congestive heart failure.
Walking down the freeway?
Yeah.
Which is terribly dangerous anyway.
Yeah, he died from alcohol poisoning and congestive heart failure. So, growing up, I was like in between like families and stuff like that. Like my grandma, I would go with my grandma, and then from them, I would go to my dad's brother, my tia, and them, and so in doing that, I'd come over here, and then I'd come back to my grandma, and act different. She didn't like that because, they were teaching me things and telling me this, and I come over here, you know, and I can't live like that here, you know. And well, it's crazy how my mom used drugs and stuff, because I didn't know about her abusive drug, you know, using drugs and shit like that. I didn't know anything about that. I just remember, you know, being told that if I don't change my life, that I'm gonna end up just like my mom, not even knowing who she was or what she did. And what's crazy is for a minute I was following in her footsteps, because I was doing everything she was doing. I was stealing, I was slamming heroin, methamphetamine. You know, I'm currently on methadone right now. But it's just crazy how it works. You know, how I don't even know her, know nothing about her, and I'm like doing the same shit that she was doing.
Yeah.
There's
definitely a genetic
I don't get it. I don't
connection.
I don't understand it, man. So then I started getting in trouble, you know, and started hanging around with the wrong crowds and stuff like that. And we had another brother. His name was Ivan. He was a favorite, you know. He was the favorite of them all, and never went outside, nothing like that. You know what I mean? One day he left to go spend at somebody's house. 16 years old. He left to go to somebody's house, and I asked him to wait for me because I was bringing him Jack in the Box. Showed up, he was gone. I call him, no answer. 3 in the morning, we get a knock on the door. The police. And they hand me his wallet and his cell phone. Told me that he died. That was the first time we ever let him go out. Ever.
How did he die?
Huh?
How did he die?
Well, he was with a bunch of friends, and he was supposed to be in Corona. They ended up in Mira Loma to go buy pizza, which I still don't understand to this day. And the light turned green, and as they were going, there was someone in the Ford Explorer coming down doing 100. So when they crossed in the middle, the Explorer hit him, split the car, and everybody went like, and he died on the scene. He was ejected from the seat, and he died right there. Brain matter everywhere and stuff like that, you know. And they come and knock on our door, and they explain to us what happened. And then when we find out who did it, that's the shocker, because the guy that killed him lived 5 minutes away from us. I went to high school with him. So that was crazy, man.
How old was he?
He was 16 when he died. And I feel like it's my fault, because I should have been there earlier to give him what he wanted. If I would have, he'd still be here. But because I want to go, you know, see a girl and do what I do, you know, I lagged it. So that happened. I started doing drugs, ended up in prison. My first term was 5 years.
Is that when your drug addiction started?
Yeah, armed robbery. I had to support my habits, so, you know, armed robbery, I did 5 years. Thank you. Since then, I caught a shoot term. First time up there, as soon as I got there, I caught a 16-month shoot term. I went on from there. I've been in the Bay, been in the high desert. I've done multiple shoot terms. It's nothing I'm proud of, you know? And it took from me, you know, a lot of my years, a lot of my youth, you know.
What were you in prison for?
Armed robbery.
Armed robbery?
Yeah, all my convictions are robberies. I got a 6-year-old son, and like, I'm a piece of shit, you know? Because if I was a man, you know, I'd be there for my kid, you know? I'd be a provider, you know? I'd be somebody. But to this day, I can't sit there and call myself a man. Anybody out there trying to call themselves a man that don't pay bills, don't take care of the kids, ain't no fucking man. You think you're a man because fucking you know how to fight, or you don't let nobody tell you what to do. You ain't no fucking man. You and I both know what a real man consists of. You know, and because I didn't know what that was, I lost my son, my baby's mom. And to this day, you know, it hurts. It kills me. Because I know I love my son, but my actions say different. You know, I'm not going to sit there and lie to myself. I'm not. You know, I can't. I love my son, but my actions say different. So I sit there and I say, how could you love somebody that you don't even try to take care of? How could you say you love that person? You know, it's like, it's true. You know, if I loved him, I'd do enough to be there for him, you know? I wouldn't have fucked off my life or been like, oh, it's okay, I'll take care of it later. I'll do it later.
When's the last time you saw your son?
He's 6 years old, man, and he was almost 1 when I was with him. I only maybe spent about 6 months with him. And my baby's mom left me because I cheated on her. You know, the day I walked up to the door, it was locked. All the locks were changed in the house. I knocked on the door, she opened it, she goes, yes? I go, can I come in my own house? And she's like, no, I gave you everything you asked for, Ricardo. You turn around and spit in my face. Try to apologize, you know, and she's like, not having it, you know, and I go, can I talk to you at least? She's like, you could talk to me in front of my family. And I said, no. And me being me and having a big ego and like, oh, I'm cute, I'm handsome, you know, I could do better than that. I get another bitch, you know, down the way, you know. That's what my mind and that's how I used to think. And because of that, I lost a lot of good people in my life, you know. I lost my son, the only thing that was important to me, you know, and that shit hurts, man, you know. I come from a hard life, you know, but that doesn't make it okay or make any excuse for me to be like, oh, well, I get high because of my life or this and this and this and that. That's took me a while to learn that, but I learned that. I learned that, you know, that, you know, there are people like me in worse positions that are doctors, nurses, have their businesses, you know? So it's like, what was my excuse, you know? I was too busy, too stupid, you know, and too self-centered, selfish, you know, that I was just me. I'm hurt, I'm this, I'm that, so everybody should pay attention to me. Everybody should listen to me, everybody should feel sorry for me. And it don't work like that, you know? Recently, my grandma, all my grandma said was, you know, she looked at me and said, I just want you to do good, mijo. You know, she's done everything for me. In prison, nobody was there for me but my grandma. Money on my books, packages, everything. And all she wanted was that I get a job and I take care of myself. And I couldn't even do that because I cared about my habit, my addiction more than anything else. So I seen her one day and she was coughing, you know, and I asked her what was wrong and she was like, I'm sick on the COVID thing. I was sick too. She looked at me and she goes, you got me sick. I said, I'm sorry, Grandma. The next day, she's in a coma. She died like a week later. Because of me. Because I wasn't wearing a mask. I gotta live with that shit every day. Every day, you know. I guess you could say, you know, I should have made a difference when I had the chance. I had every opportunity to make something of myself. Not a lot of people get the choice, the chances that I got. Not a lot of people get that. I did. And I burned them all. Because I cared about my addiction more than anything else. So, because of that, you know, I lost everything. Everything. You know, and it sucks because I wish I could have made my grandma happy before she died. You know, she didn't want nothing else but to know that I was okay, that she could die peacefully, knowing that she didn't have to worry about me. Because that's all I had my whole life. She was my mom, my grandmother, my best friend, my everything. Nobody else would do nothing for me but her. I could call her in the middle of the night and she'd pick me up. 97-year-old lady. What kind of piece of shit am I? Be calling her late as fuck to come pick me up. Or bring me $30 because I'm sick. When she's old, you know, she had to work still just to take care of me. She shouldn't have to work. We should be the ones to take care of her. She had to drive, clean houses every day just to make sure I ate. I'm thankful for it. I really am. But again, my actions say different. You know, I want change. I want to be different, you know? I want to be a productive member of society because I still have a good head on my shoulders. Despite my habits and my drug use, I'm thankful that I still have a good head on my shoulders. And I have a job. I'm homeless, yeah, you know, recently. But I'm glad that I at least have a source of income. You know, despite being homeless and being on the streets, you know, at least I got a job. But, you know, I guess you could say it's too late, you know. I done fucked everything up that was given to me, man. And I'm at that point, you know, where I'm just like I'm fed up. I'm fed up, man. I gotta make a difference. I have to. I'm 32 years old, bro, and I got nothing to show for it. Nothing. I don't got fucking nothing. That's embarrassing.
It's not too late.
Of course it's not.
You're still young, man.
Yeah, you're right. You know, that's why I say I got a good head on my shoulders still. And because of that, I know I can still do things, you know.
You'd be surprised how people's capacity to forgive and forget is pretty great.
Yeah.
If somebody like you turned your life around, became a better father, became a better man,
out here,
people would treat you very differently.
Yeah.
They would.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not saying it's easy to do, you know, with the opiate
not.
addiction, but it is something that you can change.
Yeah, you're right. You know,
And it would change everything else. You know, change how you feel about yourself. You know,
Yeah.
you'd be proud of yourself
yeah, because
instead of
being depressed,
ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
There's got to be a lot of shame in your whole situation. Right?
There's a lot of shit, man. There's a lot.
You're not the grandson you wanted to be. You're not the father you wanted to be.
Right now, I got
Not the
somebody
husband.
else that my son calls dad.
I'm sorry?
There's someone else that my son's calling dad right now.
Yeah.
I didn't want that to happen. They used to warn me too. Do you want somebody else calling? Do you want your son to be calling someone else dad? I sit there and be like, fuck no. I don't want that shit. Then do something, because before you know it, he's gonna be calling somebody else dad. And it happened. It happened. I lost him. And that shit, it hurts, you know? And for a while, you know, I sat there and was like, poor me, poor me, poor me, you know? But I wouldn't do nothing to change it, you know? And that was the hard part. You know, so the first step was admitting, you know, I had a problem. You know, accepting it, you know, and talking about it. Because I noticed that people don't like to talk about their past or things like that, because of course it's embarrassing, you know, but I've learned that you have to in order to let that go, or else you're going to be stuck. You're going to just be in a hole in the past. You can't do that, you know?
Hey, I want to see you.
Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I've been looking for you. Ruby. Ruby. That's my sweet little girlfriend. Sorry.
Yeah, so.
But Ricardo, you can turn your life around. You're still a young man.
Yeah.
And you can make yourself proud. You can even make your son proud. Believe it or not.
Yeah. I want to. That's what I plan on doing, you know. I know that I can prove my baby's mom wrong, you know. I could show her, you know, that I can be somebody, you know, for my son.
Yeah, you should use that incredible challenge.
Yeah.
As like a goal.
Yeah.
You know, turn it into, the whole world is saying that you're a fuck up.
Yeah. And
that you can't do it.
Nope.
And you should make it your mission.
To prove everybody wrong.
Prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I know, like, you know, I know what she was thinking, you know. I don't got to put him on child support. For what? He ain't got no fucking job, you know. And if I put him on child support, that means that I got to deal with him still. She didn't even do that. She didn't put me on child, she just disappeared. She told me once, she goes, Ricardo, I disappeared on you once before for 2 years. She goes, what makes you think I won't do a lifetime? She goes, remember this, I don't need you. You need us. You need this family. She goes, you sat there and begged me for a family. And I gave that to you. And I sat there and I laid back and said, let's see what he does with it. You didn't do shit but hurt us. That was deep. That was hard. Because she was right. You know? But on the other hand, too, she had a problem. She was really abusive with me. She put her hands on me a lot. Despite, you know, her being very Christian and stuff like that, you know? And being by the Bible and you know, 10% mandatory of our checks goes to our tithes. Every check, 10% goes to the church. She was a type of woman that Monday was marriage counseling to prepare us for marriage. Tuesday was Bible study for adults. Wednesday was the Bible study for the youth. So I'd go as an example and give my 5 minutes of fire and let them know you don't want to be like me. Thursday was like a church at nighttime, and then they would sell food and stuff like that. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, church 2 times a day.
Well, yeah, I mean, some people are holy rollers and they're just into it.
Yeah, that's their whole family was
I'm
like
not,
that.
but if you used all the, you know, you've caused a lot of pain and you feel a lot of pain from your actions, right?
Yeah.
You should use that pain you feel as fuel and channel it into something constructive.
Yeah.
Because you're still a young man.
Yeah. I did go to school and stuff like that.
Man, you're 32?
Yeah.
If I was 32, I would conquer the world. I really would. Knowing what I know now.
Yeah.
But,
same thing, yeah.
But you should take every bit of your pain and regret that you feel and shame and turn it into, you know, just channel it and put all your energy into creating a new Ricardo.
Yeah, you're right. I just wish
be a great father for your son, and maybe you'll have another child down the road. You're still young.
Yeah. She was really abusive, you know, like for instance,
no one's perfect. And you don't need to pull her under the bus either, but
if I didn't go in the front of the church and get on my knees and let them pray for me, when we got home, she whooped my ass.
Yeah, well, everyone's got a different belief system and style, but whatever, that's her thing.
Yeah.
And you can't say she's right or wrong. It works for her, and maybe it doesn't work for other people.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about Ricardo right now.
Yeah. I was
Don't blame anybody.
Nah, hell no, by myself, you know?
Yeah, forgive everyone, including yourself.
Yeah.
Clean the slate, start over.
Yeah, you're right, you know?
I mean, you got a monkey on your back, but that doesn't mean you can't shake it.
Yeah, you're right, you know? I sit back and think, you know, and I'm like, man, I was given every opportunity, every chance.
No, but see, every word that you're saying is just piling on more guilt on your head. And you shouldn't feel guilt. I mean, you should feel guilty, but you should also just turn it into like this isn't about me, but here's how I handle adversity. Like every bad thing that happens to me, in one way or another, is my responsibility. Every negative thing that I've ever been through, I could choose to see it as 100% my responsibility, as you can too. Yeah. And once I've done that, then I can make two decisions. I can continue to do the same thing and repeat that pattern, or I can channel it into a way of seeing it as, man, I never want that to happen again. Yeah. I never want to get screwed over on a contract. I never want to get a divorce again. I never want to betray anyone or whatever. I never want to hurt. I never want to hurt anyone else or myself ever again. Yeah. So I do things about my behavior to do things differently in the future. And the pain and the regret that I feel by doing those things is the fuel to never do it again. And you're in a great position right now to do a whole 180 on your life.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And live things differently.
Yeah.
I mean, look at you. You don't even look like a drug addict. Once you get your teeth fixed, you're not a drug addict.
Yeah, I got someone hit me.
No, I know. I mean, that happens to 99.9% of the people that are doing drugs. In one way or another, they lose their teeth for whatever reason.
Dude fucking just came out of nowhere.
But you can see a dentist and get it all fixed up. And look at you. You're a handsome young man. If you somehow kicked it, man, I can tell you, Ricardo, your life would be beautiful. And how old is your son? He's 6? Man, he's still a little kid. Let's say you got yourself clean. Totally clean. And somehow you get back into in contact with your son and your ex-wife, and you could be a part of your son's life again. Even though he's got, his mom's got a new dad, a new husband, you could connect with your son again. And you'd feel so much better about yourself. Your son would be proud of you. You could rebuild your life. You can do it.
Yeah, you're right. What's crazy is I remember telling myself it's about my mom. I said if my mom would have just had stayed alive long enough for me to have grown up, I told myself I would have supported her habit just as long as I would have been able to keep her home. If supporting her habit and getting her whatever she needed kept her home, gave me a mom, I would have did that. But I was told that she'd try to sell me at one point, So, and I remember one day I was on my girl's phone, and I go, I wonder why her family has never tried to look for me, So I start looking, I type in Rosemary Conchola, and this lady pops up. I screenshot it. This was when my grandma was alive. I sent a picture of my grandma, and I go, hey, grandma, who's this? She looks and she goes, that's your mom. And I go, it is her, huh? She goes, where did you get this? And I go, I found her. And she goes, no. In Spanish, she's like, leave her alone. There's a reason why they don't talk to us and we don't talk to them. I go, I know, but I have questions, So I sent the message, no reply. I sent another message and I go, hello, to whom this may concern. I go, if your name is Rosemary Conchola, I think you're my mother. And then I leave my number there. I get a call like 10 minutes later. Is this Ricardo? I go, yes. Who's this? She goes, oh my God, mijo, we got a piece of your mom. We got a piece of your mom. And I'm like, who's this? She goes, I'm your aunt. I go, oh, wow. She goes, yeah. She goes, I'm your aunt. She goes, oh my God. She goes, I got to tell everybody. So now she's telling all these people. I got all these cousins, and I got another grandmother. And then I meet her brother, my uncle. His name is Ray. And, but not in person. They live in Texas. And then my aunt and them or whatever, they live in Whittier. So I start talking to all these people and shit, you know. And at this point, I'm not telling my grandmother. And they're telling me like they got a family reunion coming up, and they made it known that I'm here, you know. So now everybody's gonna be coming from fucking fuck Egypt and all that just to see me. And so I'm talking to Ray, and I go, what I told you about keeping my mom, I told him that. And he goes, mijo, she would have just did you dirty or sold you for some dope. That's how she was. She wouldn't change it no matter what, mijo. He goes, all she would have did was just hurt you. And I was just like, man, I wouldn't give a fuck. Just as long as I could at the end of the day say, I got a mom. She's at home. And he was like, yeah. So then I go, can I ask you a question? He goes, yeah. I go, it took me 5 minutes to find you guys. 5 minutes. And I hardly know anything about you guys besides first and last names. I go, why don't you guys look for me? I asked both of them that. Why don't you guys look for me? The first thing my aunt goes is, she goes, mijo, your mom loved you. Despite what she did, she loved you. I remember the day we were at IHOP. She was crying because she missed you and loved you and this and that. And I'm like, man, she's full of shit. She was crying because she was probably kicking dope. She wasn't feeling good. And then she goes, I can't blame you for what you're saying, mijo. I understand you're upset and this and that. And I'm like, I'm upset, man. It took me 5 minutes to find you motherfuckers. Why didn't you guys look for me? Oh, well, we weren't sure if we lived at that house still. I go, what house? They knew exactly where my grandma's house was. I was always outside. So I go, what's your excuse? She goes, they both say, well, we had issues with your family, meaning my uncle. And they basically said they were scared of him. They were scared to show up to the house because of him. I go, that's not acceptable, man. I said, it took me 5 minutes to find you guys, you know? You guys never even care to look for me, nothing, you know? Don't sit there and say you guys tried, you know, because you didn't. You know, I could forget it.
Yeah, but you're talking like a victim right now.
Yeah, I know.
And that victim mentality, you know where it'll keep you in 5, 10, 15 years?
Same fucking spot.
Right where you're at right now.
Yeah. I just wanted questions answered.
You got to drop that like like a hot coal, man.
No, yeah.
Kick it.
I'm just telling you my experiences, you know.
Yeah, no. I mean, victim.
Yeah.
I got 2 seconds for that kind of shit.
Yeah,
you should too. You should just drop it. Because you want to see yourself as a victim, go ahead.
Fuck no.
But you know where you'll be in 20 years.
Fuck no.
And you know what your son will be saying about you? The same thing you're saying about your mom.
Yeah, you're right.
Think about it.
You're right, man. So.
The time is now, Ricardo.
Yeah.
The time is now.
I've taken some steps, you know, since then, you know, I got myself a job, you know, I got that on my own, you know. I plan on going back to school.
That's great.
You know, eventually, you know, I say it, you know, but I actually got to apply myself.
Yeah.
Go from there, man, you know.
That's great. No, you can do it.
My addiction is just, I'm on fentanyl and methadone.
Yeah. No, fentanyl's no joke.
Methadone isn't either.
Yeah, no. No, you've got some serious obstacles in your face, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. Not just for your son, and not for your grandmother, and not to prove anybody wrong.
Yeah. Well, I've learned, you know.
You do it for Ricardo.
You can't do nothing for nobody but yourself.
Yeah, you do it for yourself. And if you do it for yourself and make yourself proud,
I feel
you'll have a whole chain of people think you're amazing.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right.
And the person leading that parade is going to be your son.
I got something to work forward to, you know, to look forward to.
Yes, you do.
My son, you know?
And your future.
Yeah. You know, because, you know.
You see where this lifestyle that you're leading is going to take you?
The other day, man, you know how many, the officer told me this, he goes, because he seen me looking, some of the same thing you did. He's like, you like what you see? I said, no. He goes, I seen you off in deep thoughts. You're staring. I go, yeah, I am. I was just thinking about the other day because they found some dead body right there in the tent that was there for 2 weeks. Mm. He goes, yeah, you'd be surprised, man. He goes, how many dead bodies you think right now are in these tents? Mm. He goes, he said, you might have just walked past a few tents right now and 3 people dead in there.
Yeah.
I was like, I know.
And you're doing the drug that puts people there.
And he looks at me and he goes, what are you doing down here? The way I'm dressed and shit. He goes, what are you doing down here? You getting high or what? And I laughed. I said, nah, man. And he looks at me and he goes, look, man. I'm going to tell you, he goes, this life here isn't for you, man. He looked at me and he said that. And he goes, whatever you're doing, dude, he goes, you need to stop now before you end up like that or like that.
He's exactly right. And you know it.
Yeah.
You don't need to be told by me or the cop or anybody else. Mm-mm. You know deep down in your heart what to do. Everybody does.
Yeah.
You just need a lot of courage. It's not about anybody else. It's not about any of your family. It's not about your friends. It's all about you. The only one that's going to do it is you, and no one's going to help you, and no one's going to make it easier. And it's up to you.
Yeah.
Just shut up and do it. Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about anything.
Actions speak louder. You can't help someone that don't want to help themselves.
Yep. So, all right.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Ricardo.
Yes, sir.
That was great.